This video is entitled The Belly Bouncer and the Bashing Bishop. By the way, if you're curious, and for people that don't know the UK, and don't search what bashing the bishop is, because it means something completely different. In this particular context of stuff, we're looking at the final quest of the Shooting Star quest. So I finished this off and had a lot of fun with two paths. I actually realised I left like one additional path and I didn't realise it. So now that I have, if you've seen the recent video, you know that I picked up my fifth ever 7-star off my 6th crystal. God, trying to remember that. Yeah, so I've opened 6 7-star crystals, through non-spending means. So that's been, a real achievement. I'm really happy with that. And I'm not really close. I think I'm halfway there to my next one, which will be my 7th. So that's thumbs up. Good news. I'm looking forward to doing opening up another one. So it meant that I can unlock Shooting Star quest paths. Now, I've got some really fun gameplay, and I had a laugh with this. This is a lot of fun. This particular last quest one, so this is 6. Well, it's the 6th. It's the 6th one. It's 1.6, whatever you want to call it. Top path, where we're going to start off with looking at some fun footage with bashing the bishop. Power shield 2.0. Combat deja vu. Whenever the attacker lands the same type of basic attack twice in a row, the attacker gains a 5-second placebo buff. When the defender performs the first attack in any combo, the defender is stun immune. Doesn't really matter about that one. Stacking power. The attacker gains no power from landing or receiving attacks from passive power gain effects or buff. Whenever the attacker gains a buff, they also generate 20% of a bar of power. So get a placebo buff, get some power. But at the same time, that's not really the point. The point is about Power Shield 2.0, and we'll see why. With one hit, one hit, I was able to kind of blast through this particular path. So let's have a look at that footage, and then we'll talk about the other path, because I had so much fun with this. So rolling the footage straight off, we have got me going in with... I decided to record this because first of all, I was like, in the first couple of fights, I was like, I'm doing a lot of damage here. This seems like a lot of fun. Let's kind of like do this. So you can see that I'm building up to my SP3. And one of the great things about Bishop is that you're able to take some specials from one fight to the other. So I'm just, casually throwing my SP3, which does all the damage. We love that. We love when Bishop does all the damage. Yes, just like that. I was stunned. 311,000 in one hit. And then going into, I think one of the other fights, which I didn't end with a kind of a special attack. This one I do. And you can see this is the impact that takes you from one fight to another. So the first thing is building up my power. Of course, you've got to do that. Build up the placebos. Building up placebos means that, hey, I'm able to get a little bit of power. Just a little cheeky bit of power. So, nearly built up to 2 there. And then I just need to do a good parry, like there, up to 37. Well, I've thrown 36. And then where we go. SP2 is nice. And what happens in the next fight? Well, stuff like this. We build up. We're building up the prowess, top left-hand corner, building up that lovely prowess. And then it's going to be a case of, well, I'm going to let rip at about, 30, maybe one more. 37. Yeah, we'll throw on 37 prowess and see what happens. Oh, wait. I know what happens from all this. That's right. Absolute KO. That was funny. I did get a bit too cocksure of myself in that, yes. Sometimes when you kind of like acting a bit too cocky for yourself, stuff like that happens. And I've completely forgot about the champion getting the unstoppable. So that was a bit kind of like, ooh, that derailed me going into my final fight because I wasn't able to kind of build up the way I wanted to. But doesn't really matter because then the final fight was just going to be like Storm Pyramid X, and this is just easy, just like filler right there. But I start with an SP1 at least, kind of like just kind of go from there. But funny that, isn't it, when you kind of like, oh, I'll start off like this and stuff like that, and yeah, like now what we're doing is just throwing in a big SP2 to finish. He says, well, not really finish, but a good amount of incinerate damage in this one. I do actually like this kind of end boss because it's easy to avoid. I love the SP1. It's Storm Pyramid X. It's got like a very kind of avoidable SP1. So what I was trying to do now is just charge up a little bit. I actually lost my momentum going into this, which you're going to really see. But I just don't need to focus. That's the thing. When things are really fun, you don't need to focus so much there. I kind of lose my focus there. You lose my edge. But hey. getting the W, man. And just that's so much fun, that Power Shield 2.0, and just throwing that special attack. Oh yeah, I've got an SP2 to start the next fight. Boom, they're dead. Move on to the next fight. Love that. Now on to the next fight and the belly bouncer. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just want to hear you something. Drop it like a belly dancer. Wasn't it like, yeah, it was Akon that did that song? God, that's a long time ago. I think I just remember that as a kid just being on the radio all the time. But in any case, we've got the belly bouncer. Well, not completely. We've got a little bit of Gallon to show you, and we've got a little bit of Bishop, not Bishop, that was the other path. Kingpin to show you. I completely forgot them for a moment. A bit of a mind melt. But yeah, fight or flight, unstoppable force, can't stop, won't stop, can't stop the beat, won't stop. Guys, just like songs in it all the time. Junior, senior, remember that song. Fight or flight, okay. All this stuff here, in a nutshell, you need an unstoppable on in order to do the damage. Now, there's a couple of champions I really like for this. Funny enough, I think I've still got the same team that I did this particular path with, which was Nimrod, which is great because there's 2 mutant champions on there. And you can use a mutant champion. You can use Nimrod against Storm Pyramid X, but it's not great because the champion is shock immune. So it's like you're not able to like maximize that damage. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just it is what it is. But Nimrod does get unstoppable as part of its base kit. But to be honest, it was all about Gallon, and it was all about Kingpin with the belly bouncing. So without further ado, let's have a look at some of that fun footage. So we start things off with Gallon, a champion that I'm kind of like having a renaissance with, a renaissance with, just because I haven't played with a champion for a long time. There's a lot of champions I do need to play about with a bit more, just to kind of like get rhythms back. Some champions I really like, some I play differently. And have you guys noticed that when you do stuff like Battlegrounds, you end up playing champions maybe a bit differently than you might do? I mean, look, I used Nimrod against Colossus against Nimrod, for God's sakes. That's weird. That's weird. Oh, but you gotta love Gallon. So the great thing about Gallon is part of his kit he does get unstoppable, so it does mean you kind of like able to do some quicker kind of like rotations on things. And let's face it, against like the likes of Sunspot, you go, oh well, I'll just kind of like throw in a Nimrod, and that makes sense to kind of do that. And don't worry, we'll get to the Kingpin footage in a minute. And that was my favourite and most funnest champion to play in this particular quest. And I just thought I could share it in a minute because it's funny. Well, because you can just be so aggressive by it. Even though to be honest, I didn't need to worry too much about rotating around Nimrod's normal unstoppable elements to his play. So I just kind of like thought, right, well, I'll just build up to an SP2, fire off an SP2 against this, and it's just like, I mean, look, it's going to like speak for itself. Once the champion throws a special attack, and that's one thing, I had to fade in and out of a transition a moment ago in that Cull Obsidian fight, because champion just wasn't throwing special attacks. Seems to be a thing at the moment. But look at this, shock, damage, and dead. Can't say fairer than that. But in any case, there's the belly bouncer in action. Of course, as part of Kingpin's kit with a nice heavy attack, he gets an unstoppable. Even better in this particular situation because, hey, it's can't stop, won't stop. It's all about unstoppable. You know, do that unstoppable. And you can see me that I'm just constantly firing it off, being aggressive as possible. It is hilarious. And I didn't even realize, like, I just thought, oh, I'm just going to be aggressive here. And it's just like all of a sudden I'm at an SP3. And it's like, oh, just kind of like, and it's done. This is funny because Smash comes up and Hulk Ragnarok does this constant kind of like we go at each other, and it's just hilarious. In a moment it's going to pop up, and it's just funny. It's just funny because we're both kind of like scrapping. There we go. We're kind of like doing this scrapping. Look at it. Look, it's so funny just to be as aggressive as that. I'm just belly bouncing into it because I don't care at this point, because I'm like, I got plenty of health to kind of like throw around with. This is hilarious, and I'm having a good time with it. And just throw a special attack 3 to kind of end. But I love when it happens with the unstoppable, and it's all kind of like, you know, that like I think it did a shorts version of a She-Hulk versus Human Torch thing, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, that was hilarious. And yeah, as I said, I always think that when you're having a bit of fun in game, just share it. You know, share something that was fun, funny, a cool interaction. And as I said, for this particular quest, one of the cool interactions was Bishop, because you're able to get Power Shield 2.0, you get special attacks just going into the next fight, and of course there's better champions or other options for champions, but so much fun. And especially with Can't Stop Won't Stop, because it just completely just makes this hilarious. I only realized towards the end that you could use Kingpin as a hilarious option. I just kind of like constant heavy attacks, and even just at a point where I was like, do you know what? I don't need to parry anymore with that Hulk Ragnarok fight. It's just gonna like, it's like constant blue kind of belly to belly, not suplex, but like a belly bouncer, as you know, as I call it. But in any case, that has been the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit of fun. Hey, we like a bit of fun in MCOC, don't we? But in any case, check out some other content located on screen. I'll probably do a full guide for this very soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.